lost Srija. Srija?
I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, let's start. It's about 6-9. Hey, everyone. Welcome to our second webinar series on personal statement. So, we have Dr. Ria Raju, who is joining our session, and also we have Dr. Shrija. So, Dr. Ria Maths into Family Medicine and Dr. Ria Maths into Family Medicine. So, we welcome you to the session, Dr. Ria and Shrija. So, let's go ahead and start the session. Here, you can go to the next slide. Yeah. Thank you. So, these are our team members. So, before we get started, I wanted to introduce and explain you about our team, about StepsEasy. So, we have 4 mentors, and we have Dr. Ria. So, of course, as I mentioned, she managed in family medicine at SIU. And we have Dr. Louis Desia. Unfortunately, she couldn't join us today, but she managed into internal medicine at the University of Oklahoma. And we have Dr. Shrija here with us, and she managed into family medicine at Chino Valley, California. And we also have Dr. Shivani, and she unfortunately couldn't join us today, but she majored into family medicine at Wellspan, Good Samaritan. So all of us are a good team, and you'll also, of course, meet a few of us today, and maybe in the next session you will meet the other people as well. And these are our tutor teams. So we have Dr. Shrija, Dr. Hanisha, and Dr. Manisha. So all 3 of them will be going for this year match, and they have finished all their steps. And we have two of the attendings in our interview. We have Dr. Neha, and she's an attending at Creighton University, Arizona. And we have Dr. P. Ranjan, who's also an attending at the Medstar Health. And we have 2 new bright people, Dr. Pujita and Ashmita, who are part of our content team. And they're currently at the AFMC conference and they couldn't join us today, but that's well. So a bit of about us, what exactly we are as a team. So basically, when we started the StepsEasy, the main reason why we started is because whenever we are in our match, whenever we are preparing for our match, whenever we wanted to go for a bit of guidance, there was always a bit of there was always a factor called affordability, and that was the main reason where you don't need to spend a lot of bucks on these services, and you can always do it and give your best opinion at an affordable price. And we wanted to share our journey and also our experience, and also link up you with mentors from different hospitals, and also provide all the services at an affordable price. So that's the main reason why we started this StepsEasy. We are more than just a resource. We would love to be your partners in progress. And of course, everyone's time matters. That's why whatever we do, it's going to be personalized, be it steps, be it ERA CV, be it personal statement, be it interviews. We are going to do it like one-on-one personalized sessions, and we are taking limited people because we as PGY1s have limited time. And of course, so that's the main reason we wanted to keep it personalized as well. Yeah. So you can go to our website. I don't want to waste a lot of time on that. You can check it out, check on our website, thestepseasy.com. But we have few updates coming up under StepsEasy. So we are soon launching ebooks under StepsEasy. So it would be like a 60 to 65 page ebook, which would be useful for your final 4 weeks of preparation for your step 1 and step 2. So it is written by us and also all the people who have taken the exams. And soon we are also launching StepsEasy Research RX, which we are fortunate to have Ria and her mother, who's a research scientist. And also we have a lot of professors who are tying up, and soon we'll be launching that. And of course, we are soon launching Interview Bootcamp. What is Interview Bootcamp? So we are creating a space where you can basically you'll be getting all the inside info on how to create an answer for a question and how you should dress up, and of course everything about the interview. And also we are doing something similar to the ERAS and PS bootcamp, and also the programs listing as well. Yeah, now I think that's about it, and now let's get into the topic for today, personal state. So I think everyone knows about personal statement and why it is used and why it is useful for our residency and what it implies. Basically, it's nothing but a story that tells about you. And before any program director or anyone in the program, before they come and meet you, they want to read you what this guy or what this girl is as a person. So this is your chance to tell your story. So it should be a personalized version. It should not be generic. Why I'm saying personalized is because if at all someone wants to meet you, they could not give opportunity to all the people to interview, right? So this is your chance to get that interview. So tell your personal story and make it as personal as you can, so that they can know what I am as a person or what Dr. Ria is as a person. So of course, the second point, whatever it is in the personal statement, you have to you have to basically attract the program director or whoever reading it without you even directly talking to them. It has to include. So it has to be a personal story that we talk about, and what it has to include all your strengths. It can also include your weakness, but ultimately it should showcase that you fit for the program. That is what matters. So how you should craft a personal statement is it should be like a story. It should be a narrative story, and it should always have a flow. Like whenever you're reading anything, if at all you don't find a flow or if you don't find something interesting, you will stop it in your first paragraph itself. So that's why it's always important to structure it properly, and that's what we'll discuss it today. And of course, a strong personal statement boosts your chance of securing an interview. I agree with that more than 100% because many of my interviews, they talked a lot about my personal statement. I think that helped us get a few interviews. I think everyone would agree on that. So it's always your story, and it's your best chance to tell them about yourself. And yeah, let's break down how to structure it effectively, and we can take it from there. So yeah, this is what we curated as an ideal structure, but of course there is nothing called an ideal structure, but this is what you can use it to start somewhere. So what exactly is this 5 paragraph rule? So the main thing they talk about personal statement is it shouldn't be not more than a page. So if you figure out and take a page, one page could max fit you into like 5 paragraphs. So that's why they talk about this 5 paragraph structure for the personal statement. So in the first paragraph, you usually start with something strong, like what is a strong opening. So it could be like a hook, it could be like an anecdote, or it could be like any thought-provoking question. Like you can start with something like, "Hey, I started somewhere, and now I am in this path of going to residency. So is it the same person that I have imagined a few years ago, and now I'm in this journey?" So something interesting could be a good opener, and also you can start with some anecdotes uh, like why did you want to get into residency? Ask yourself these questions, like why did you want to get yourself into medicine, or how did you grow up? Like you can include all this in your first paragraph, and we'll talk a lot about it later on. And in the second paragraph, again, why medicine and why the specialty? That is how you transfer to your second paragraph. In your third paragraph, you can talk about your clinical experience wherever in your home country, something also you should talk about, and then you can lead to the US clinical experience and also include your work and research experience if at all you're an old graduate. So I think that really holds a good value. And also in the fourth paragraph, you can talk about what you bring to the program. I mean, like, it doesn't have to be like, I am strong, I'm hardworking, or something like that, but any other lead that you can talk about. Like, for example, you can talk about something like, hey, I volunteered at so and so organizations, and I bring the organization skills to the program, and this is something which is really important. I feel like I'm a perfect fit for the program through that, something like that. And in your final paragraph, you can talk about what are your future goals and how you are a perfect fit for the program and what they would lose if at all they would not give you an interview. So that would be your last paragraph. And yeah, let's go into in detail about the first paragraph. Okay. So paragraph one, the hook. So always start with an engaging story. So engaging story doesn't have to be someone else's story. I wanted to be pretty clear on this because you can ask ChatGPT or any AI or anything to write a story, and you can give a prompt like, "Hey ChatGPT, I'm applying for internal medicine, and please write me a personal statement for internal medicine." It would write its version, but what is your version? What is you in that story? So always find that. So always you can ask these questions to yourself, like, what am I? how did I start? Where did I start in my journey? How did I grow up as a human being? Is it my parents that gave me this interest, or did I find an interest? Or if you're any cultural person, or if you're a chess player, or if you're anything, this is the paragraph that you can invent about yourself. Tell them about yourself, what you are as a human, and what motivated you as a human. And then nowadays, I'm like the program directors and all the programs, they're against this idea that they're against this thing that you should not always include something personal in your family people, because if at all, let's say, if at all your family members, one of them have any family history of any heart disease or something like that, you can include that. Maybe that might have motivated you. But nowadays, it's being considered against the idea that you shouldn't include something like that, because they have an idea that every IMG tool does this. So, what I would suggest is not to include something like that. Of course, it might be real for you, but they would judge that and they would not even read your entire personal statement, even though it's interesting. So always do something unique, like find anything. Like this is an example which I included, like a generic thing which everyone does. They say the moment when I held my first stroke patient's hand as he struggled to speak, I knew I was meant for neurology. So this is as generic as it can. So you shouldn't do something like this. Avoid cliches like this. And make it as authentic and as memorable as possible. It should be as personal to you. So in the next slide, there's an example on how you shouldn't write it. So this is one of the person which we are mentoring, and she got it. Like I don't want to reveal where it is, but they got it written through an agency, and they charge about like $1,500 just for this personal statement. And if you look at carefully in this personal statement, like everyone give a read, and whatever it is written, see, it is like pure generics. They're saying it is a chess player and they are fascinated. And both doctors and chess players have a degree of uncertainty when dealing with incomplete information. And just like chess players face many things, the doctors also face a lot of things. And that's why the medicine is where whole personality is attracted. So whole paragraph is written in stating facts, but there's nothing that is indicating this person as a whole thing. Like there's nothing about the person, there's nothing why this person got into medicine, and there's nothing why this person initially got an interest into joining medicine. But when we talked and when we interacted with this person, she has a lot of good things going on. She basically like she has a lot of good things going on. She couldn't write this all because she was in that period where she has to do her rotations and also do write her personal statement. So always start your personal statement early, because that what matters at the end, because that can land you an interview, or that can even like not go ahead from getting an interview. So this is something which I think would not be a good idea to start your personal statement as. Don't state facts, and of course, keep it as personal as possible. Yeah, and I think we can go to the next paragraph. So once you state about yourself in the first paragraph that hey, this is why I got into medicine, and this is why I joined medicine, and in your second paragraph you can lead it something like, okay, you joined medicine. Now, after joining medicine, what attracted you in this field? Like, what is that one solid experience? Or it could be like a bunch of experiences that might solidify your interest in your specific field. So you can start at something like, I joined medicine, and then slowly I transitioned to internal medicine, or transitioned to neurology or pediatrics or something like that. And state an example here, or whatever few examples that really attracted you. It could be any case. It could be like you're drawn to complexity of cases. So, but keep it personal. So, why am I saying keep it personal? Keep it personal in the sense, state your experience. So the personal here means stating your experience. What did you do? What did you observe as a person? Or what did you feel in that case? And why you felt that case was unique? Or why you felt this branch is for you? So rather than stating, hey, internal medicine deals with all the branches, I got attracted to internal medicine because I did my rotations. So this is pure generic stuff. They don't like it. What did you do in that medicine? What did you do specifically? And don't include common cases like diabetes and any other common cases which you would see in your what, because out of 6 out of 10 personal statement, you would see something related to diabetes or hypertension. And they know that this person took an inspiration from some others. So always find something. It shouldn't have to be something which you have observed. Always ask questions to yourself. There's always a point where you will find that thing that why you wanted to get into medicine. That's why you have to start it as early as you can. So yeah, explain why you're drawn to this field and show your experiences. Of course, talk about it and always maintain a smooth transition. So what is the smooth transition? So in the first paragraph, you have talked about yourself and your upbringing and everything about why you got into medicine. And the second paragraph, it should be very smooth that you have to transition from medicine. Now, why did you like the specialty, or what did you find an interest in the specialty? So that is the smooth transition I'm talking about. And always be specific about what excites you in the specialty, and don't always write generic stuff. And yeah, next slide. I think we have an example of how you shouldn't write it. So yeah, you can all read it, but in this thing, the transition here is not smooth. Number one, and second, this is where they are stating facts in this. Like if you see, being self-aware and driven by a deep commitment to improvement, I always fought hard to what I knew I was capable of. And then she was saying she got into medical school and got multiple distinctions, and she liked all these subjects and all that stuff, and all that is fine. And then she said, however, it was internal medicine, I found my true calling. So she's saying that this person likes internal medicine, but what is that something that attracted her to go into internal medicine? And what is so if you see, whenever in this personal statement, don't use any complex words. That is something I wanted to stress about. So if you use something like immensely gratify or something like this other thing which I saw in this, found my true calling, and stating facts like emphasis on evidence-based medicine, rigorous scientific inquiry. So if you're writing something, you would not write this, right? If you're writing, if I asked you all to write something as of right now, you would not use these words. Of course, you can give it to correct your punctuations and grammar. But this is something which feels like an AI written or something like that. This like at first gives you that opinion, but maybe like you can be a good writer and you can be a good orator or something. But this is something which would give that initial impression. So always find a perfect balance between what you want to say and what is the extent that I have to use complex words, and keep it as personal as you can. Yes, I think we can go to the next one. Yeah, I think Dr. Iya will take over from here. Yeah.
Yeah. Firstly, thank you, Tanish, for having me here today. So, am I audible and clear, right? Okay. So, yeah, coming to the third paragraph, it is about mentioning any experience that you've seen in your clinical electives, let it be in India or in the United States while you're doing rotations, or any research experience, just to include your relevance in medicine and in a clinical setting to your own personal story and how did it help you. For example, when I was drafting my personal statement, I drafted two parts, having one an interesting case that I saw during my rotation, and the other thing was definitely a research experience, a case study that I wanted to include in my personal statement. So somehow I was more drawn or inclined toward putting my research experience. And in my first draft, when it is actually about rabies mimicking Guillain-Barré syndrome, and I'm applying internal medicine. So after my first draft, when I sent it out for review to my mentors, many of them told me that it is more inclined towards neurology, or maybe it's not inclining towards the specialty of what you are applying. So, but still, I wanted to include that case because that is actually an interesting one. I had presented it in a conference, I won a prize, so I wanted to include it in my personal statement. So, what I did was, I understood that rather than just listing that I saw this case, I liked it, and I presented, I got this and that, I understood I had to emphasize what it has helped me. And later, then I put that this is how I was very intrigued in diagnostic excellence, that is how I am very interested in being a physician and how I want to learn more about diagnosis. And then I also said that that is how I'm very interested in bringing clinical things and correlating it with research and maybe contributing to literature as well. So later I put in things that helped me emphasize on the personal traits that I developed through that experience. And after I wrote a second draft and sent it to my mentors, nobody had an issue if it is a neurology case or a pediatric case or anything, because that completely changed about how I put the whole experience as. So that was my personal experience with this paragraph. And yeah, that's what is written as well. Highlight your hands-on clinical experience in the specialty. Any relevant experience will be good. And yeah, you have to show what you have learned through that experience and how you think it is going to help you through residency as well. Yeah. Mm. And how you do not have to write is definitely, yeah, this is one example. And when I read through this, what I felt is there is no correlation between the two paragraphs written there. I definitely felt that the example given here, that is during third year of medical school, first wave of COVID-19 in India hit hard, and family crisis and everything. I understand that this is a very personal experience and it definitely has an impact in your life. But here, what I felt is it is not showing what it has taught you or what you have done to overcome this situation, and you are not even telling what you have inculcated or what has helped you that will help you in residency further as well, because it assures that we are going to face crisis in residency as well. And how are you going to face it? That is what you have to show. This paragraph and this example gave me a thought that yes, you did go through a crisis, but you have not solved it, or maybe I'm not sure if you solved it and you will be able to face it further in residency if you face it again. So you have, even if you want to put in a personal example or anything in your statement, make sure that the first two sentences will give a gist of what has happened, and the rest of the paragraph should be about how you overcame it and how will you face it further if you face similar situations in residency as well. So I think you should focus on what you have learned from the situation. Coming to the fourth paragraph, definitely include what you are going to bring to the program, your strengths, your qualities, and about the background that you come from, the special skills that you have. Yeah, definitely Tanish mentioned about his Telugu USMLE community, and he was the leader spirit, so he mentioned about the importance of teamwork and mentorship in medicine. Yeah, I also mentioned about research experience only, where I led a team and I got the paper published, and I wrote how I was coordinating between the professor and the students, how I got the work done, how I did the questionnaire based work, and everything. So there are a few points that every residency program director or any residency person who is interviewing you would want to see in you. For example, because I've applied family medicine, I know that they would like to see dedication to serving the underserved communities, or maybe interest in forming very long lasting relationships, or being empathetic. These are a few things, few words that I know that the program directors would expect. So you have to frame in your strengths and skills in such a way that it aligns with the reader's choice as well. Yeah, this is an example of being most generic as possible, because it just says that pursuing a career in the US was a logical choice due to its well established training program in internal medicine. And yeah, it says I've completed clinical rotations in New York and Texas, expanded my knowledge. I mean, all of these are just facts. It's not showing why you want to go to the US specifically. All of us know that we want to go to the US because it has a very advanced healthcare system. It has very, all the latest technologies and very good professors, mentorship, research opportunities. Even if you ask ChatGPT, it would give the same reasons. I mean, you do not have to have an extraordinary reason as well, but the way you put in should not be very generic. Maybe you have to show in a little bit of more curiosity or enthusiasm or interest, personal interest, why you want to be on the inside of US healthcare system. Um, this is my take from these examples, and this is what I felt are not a way to write your personal statement. And yeah, I think the next paragraphs will be taken over from Tanish.
Yeah. Hi, hello everyone. Thank you, Riya and Tanish. I hope I'm clear. I'm sorry I'm joining you from my phone. There's a power cut because of rain. But I hope people from AP are enjoying the weather. It's raining after such a long time. So, yeah, let's get into paragraph 5. So regarding paragraph 5, so it's the concluding paragraph, right? So you have to kind of conclude what all qualities you have listed in your personal statement so far. And you can kind of mention what you are bringing to the program and also what you are expecting from a program. So all of these should be included in the final paragraph. So you have to end it with a strong forward looking statement, and like you have to show your commitment to the specialty in these sentences. So one of the examples mentioned here, so it's written as I embark on my journey in neurology, I envision contributing to stroke research and mentoring future trainees. So here they're mentioning their future goal as well. They want to participate in research, and like they want to mentor future trainees. And something like I have written my concluding paragraph as I told them that I wanted to be a leader. I was also interested in teaching, and I also um, was looking to be a part of the research activities in the program as well. So I kind of mentioned what all I would be bringing to the program, and at the end of it, also what I'm looking for in a program. So I was looking for a program with a research department, so they have it. So you kind of link both of those aspects and like mention in the final paragraph. And also, this paragraph is where you can actually uh, personalize to each program that you are applying to. So, for example, if you are signaling, I mean, in internal medicine, there are 15 program signals that you can use. You can kind of personalize the paragraph to each program. So, if you like a mentorship structure in one of the programs, you can mention that. If you like the research program in a particular program, then you can mention that. So this is the paragraph where you can also personalize to each program, and also um, yeah, so if you're applying to a university program, my suggestion would be to, you can definitely mention that you're interested in research and you look forward to participating in it. But if you're applying to a community program, uh, probably you could exclude that. You could just say that I'm very well interested in like reaching out to community and like, more interested in practicing medicine rather than, doing research. So you can kind of create a personalized fifth paragraph to university programs, to community programs, and to the signal programs as well. I think that would be a huge advantage. Programs would be, interested to interview you if you mention at least few points about them. So that's definitely something we could do. Uh, Next slide, please. So how to not write paragraph 5? So you can go through the paragraph, but like when I went through this, as Tanish mentioned, he was just stating facts. That's not how you write a personal statement. It sounded robotic to me. So I think the language has to be very simple. In the final paragraph, you just need to be very concise, mention your goals, what you're expecting from a program, and like what things you like in that program. That's it. And you don't have to, make it so complex. I think this paragraph particularly is quite complex, and uh, maybe you should avoid writing it that way. Next slide, please. So, yeah. So, to conclude this session, what are the common mistakes that you need to avoid while writing a personal statement? The first one is like avoid cliches. Like I love helping people because everybody is here to help, right? So everybody would mention that. So try to write something unique. Uh, it need not be something related to the medical field. I'd say if you have a unique hobby or you come from a unique background, you can even mention that. Just give them something to remember you by, rather than mentioning about even family issues or whatever. They don't usually help. Give them something unique to remember you by, not necessarily medical things. Yeah, and also repetitive information. Don't just rewrite your CV. If you have to mention a particular experience that you have mentioned in your CV, write down the takeaways and also how they would be helping you in your residency, or like how it would help you in that program. So if you have to talk about an experience, just write the takeaways as well as the as well as how they would help you in residency, and avoid talking about failures without growth. So if you succeeded after failing, then it's okay to mention it, but it's not worth mentioning all your failures in the personal statement. And also, um, mental health issues. This is something I want to talk about. Like, I understand that many people would be suffering from mental health issues, but it's not worth mentioning that in a personal statement because not every program director would want someone battling depression or anxiety in their program. I mean, it's great that you are coming out of it, but definitely not in a personal statement. And the next one, grammar and typos. Proofread multiple times. This document is one of the most important documents in your entire path. So proofread it as many times as possible and like send it out to your seniors, your mentors, and make them read it once, twice, and then only submit your final personal statement. Yeah. So these are some of the things that you should avoid while doing your personal statement.
Yeah. Do you want to? Yes.
You can go ahead.
No, no, go ahead, Sriya. I'll say that to you.
Okay, sure. So the final pro tips for success from us are like start early and revise multiple times. You need so much time to, brainstorm your ideas. So start it as early as possible. Be personal. Everybody's journey is unique. Try to give them something to remember you by. Don't go by the cliches and keep it a one page max. One page or like just 3 to 4 lines extending into the second page, but keep it within one page. That's it. Because nobody has the time to read so many personal statements and you shouldn't bore them. And match your specialty choice with real life experiences exactly. So, for example, if you are interested in cooking or you have a unique hobby related to the specialty of choice as well. For example, if you're interested in playing video games, tell them how that would help you do, robotic surgeries and like how would, it will be helpful. So, and also end with confidence, showing readiness for residency. Always speak in such a way that you have already matched. That's the main thing. I mean, be confident and like show them that you are ready. Yeah.
I think I like that line. Ria, can we go back to the previous slide once? Yeah. Yeah, always write with confidence because your personal statement should speak that thing, and because you'll not be able to talk to them unless you're given an interview, right? So you always have to show that in your personal statement. And a few things which I would want to say here is always find one theme for your entire personal statement. So what is this theme? So if at all I'm writing something, so my personal statement theme is with leadership or looking for growth. So this is my theme. Or you can include something like your theme could be something like empathy or something like looking or forward to take any suggestions. Or this is how you grew as a person. So these are a few themes that you can take before writing a personal statement, and always see that your personal statement matches your era CV. Why I'm saying this because if your ERA CV is in such a way that it is not speaking something, like if your ERA CV is with work experiences and rather than no cultural and volunteer stuff, then now you come to your personal statement, you're talking all about, hey, I'm a Bharatanatyam dancer, I'm a classical dancer, I'm into chess player. So that is like a pure contradicting thing. So always match your ERA CV, your experiences or whatever your strengths are, but you have to showcase that in your personal statement as a team, but not the same thing. That is why we said don't copy your era CV, but you can copy the theme. Always your theme should match anyways. Like even in your interviews, whenever you're speaking, you have to speak it in such a way that your era CV, your personal statement matches your personality as you're speaking as an interviewer. So that is how you should always craft your entire thing so that it speaks the same thing. So that they can know that, hey, this person has written everything and this person has showcased himself as a person overall. And this is him, not some other else. So that is what I wanted to say before we conclude. Like always find the team and then work on it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one thing. Maintain a flow throughout the personal statement. Like it has to go in a chronological order. Like you have to start with medical school stuff and then go into internship and then the electives. Like maintain a flow. That's very important. Sometimes we tend to mix up things, but yeah, flow is very important. For
So,
the reader, yeah.
yeah, and always the first and the last. Because if I am reading a personal statement, I would read the first two lines and then I would read the last two lines. If it's something unique, I would go through the rest of the personal statement, or else I would not even read that personal statement. Right? You can see, if at all, I feel the same way. People who are reading them will have like a lot of less time. You don't expect them to read the whole personal statement; they'll just skim through. So if they're skimming through, they would want to highlight a few things about you, right? So that is why you always have these few things that say about yourself. So include them, and then you can craft a good personal statement. Yeah. Anything that you want to add, Ria, before we go to the next slide? Okay, I think, okay. Yeah, Ria, we can go to the next slide. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I think we have everything else in our website. I don't want to say much about it. We can go directly to the question, but I will want to say one thing is because, see, whatever you do, whatever you craft your personal statement is, you can get it reviewed by any mentor, anyone who has done this process, gone through this process. And if you feel like you're willing to reach out to us after you craft a personal statement, feel free. You can reach out to us through our Instagram profile or even through our website. So what we do as people is we do it like live one-to-one. So we have different sessions going on. So we have a 3-session PS and a 5-session personal statement. So it is as affordable as you can imagine and as personal as you can. So if you would love to take our reviews, we would be happy to do so. And also we have an English team with us who's working with us. So after we craft this personal statement with you, we're going to get it reviewed through our team, and all the grammatical and the punctuation errors will be corrected as well. And yeah, I think we are open to questions. Like anyone has any questions, you can ask us. You can unmute your mics, or you can directly ask us in the chat box as well. We'll be happy to take them. Okay, no questions with anyone? What is the cost of your services? Oh, okay. So, so we have two packages. One is 3-session and 5-session. The 3-session package is $60, and 5-session package is $100. So you see, it's not like we'll take your story and like some other agencies, they give you a Google form and they ask you to fill out your interest, and then they write something, they give it out to you. It's not like that. So we're going to have the session with you. It's going to be a half-an-hour session, and the 3-session packages would have 3 sessions going on. Like in the first session, we would talk about you know your story. The second session, you would curate a rough draft, then we would work on the rough draft, and before going to the final session, we would get it reviewed, and then we would finalize that. So you can go through our website. I think we mentioned it everything. So yeah, if you're interested, let us know. And isn't talking about why one went to medical school rather cliche? I didn't understand that question. Like, could you elaborate it? If it Ria, you answered it, you can take it.
No, I can actually answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
Shall I go ahead with the question?
Yeah, please
Yeah, go ahead.
So even I had that thought that is it okay to mention about entering into medical school? Some of my mentors suggested not to, but I went with it because I felt that it was necessary for them to know my story. There's to be honest, there is no particular outline to a personal statement. If you have something interesting to write about, then go for it. But if you feel like they should know your story about why you went into medical school, then you can mention it. Yeah, it works either way. Because in some of the interviews, they have asked me like why I went into medical school as well. So, yeah, I hope that answered your question.
I know for a fact that we Indians have two things. Either you to go for engineering or you go for medical school. I think that would be the reason for most of us. And yeah, even though the reason could be simple, there could be one motivating factor why you wanted to go to medical school, right? For me, the motivating factor was my parents couldn't do couldn't join medicine, so that was my motivating factor. But I didn't write that, so I used that as one initiator. But what I included was something like whenever I was reading something, or whenever I was doing something, or I'm a huge web series buff, so when I was watching something, I used to find it intricate, like what is the reason behind this thought process, like how they are doing it. So it is all about your brain, right? So you have the connection your brain and heart, you feel stuff. So this is what I can feel as a person, and I can make that difference for the people. So this was one of my motivator. But my instigator or my introduction was my parents didn't go to med school. So I linked this both of them up, and I included them why I wanted to go to med school. So you can do something like that.
Yeah, me too.
To give an extra opinion, maybe I did not mention in my personal statement why I joined med school, because when I was trying to break down the structure as it is, I saw why. I mean, it is given we have to mention why med school, and I was thinking about it, brainstorming, and I honestly did not have a reason, because it was my father who wanted me to be a doctor, and I just followed that. There was nothing more for it, and I could not come up or make up any story that could be very interesting as well. So I just mentioned saying I always wanted to be a doctor since childhood. And then rather I explain more about how my med school was, how I enjoyed being in med school, and how I understood that it is a calling for me. And nobody ever came across and asked me in interviews as well that why did you not mention why about your reason to join med school. So it's not like a rule about you have to mention or not mention. If you really have to write, it is definitely. I mean, if it will be nice to add. If you do not have, I don't think you have to make up a story as
That's true.
Yeah, Shrija, I think that's the question for you from Parimala.
So hi doc, this is Rohit, and
Oh
then
yeah.
I have met you guys in the recent HOE event. It was very nice to meet you all guys at one place.
Thank
So
you.
regarding section, I had two questions. First thing first, I was planning to get all your all-in-one package, meaning that from Era CV to all, which includes everything. And then does that package includes 3 sessions or 5 sessions? Sorry, I mean 3 or 6. And the second question is that if somebody has no idea where to start the purchase statement, and then when you take a service regarding this purchase statement thing, is it like first we talk to you and then we give our story where we did what we studied or how many years or what we did on the whole life's med school and whatever, and then we'll go from there, or we have to write a first draft and then we take step by step how it goes.
Okay, so to answer both of your questions, and the first thing is whatever we work, like, see, let's say I don't know you as a person, Dr. Rohit. So before I talk to you, whenever I talk to you, I will get to know you. So after the first session, I'll have a basic idea of what Dr. Rohit is. So I'll give you a few pointers about, hey Rohit, you can explore these aspects of your personal statement. Right? You can include these all in your personal statement. So that would be how your first session works. And before going meeting in the second session, you would draft something, you would draft an initial version. That could be everything. Like you don't need to draft a 5 paragraph thing, you can draft like a 10 paragraph thing and you can come up with that. So then we would explore what is important and what is speaking about you and what is not speaking about you. So then we would work in the further session. And to answer the second question, yeah, of course, in the comprehensive package, we have 10 sessions. So 3 would be on ERA CV, 3 would be on personal statement, and 3 would be interviews, and 1 would be program signaling. If at all you're interested, you can reach out to us later, but I think we would keep this for the important questions. I hope I answered your question, Dr. Rohit. So, yeah. I think,
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, take the next question.
Yeah, to answer Parimala's question, so yes, you can definitely mention about your failure and how you overcame it. But I also want to mention that there's a specific area in the ERA CV where you have to kind of mention the difficulty you have faced in your medical school or your like entire life. Even there, you can mention it. So uh, keep yourself ready with two such instances if you're writing it in both. I mean, in the personal statement as well. Yeah.
I think, yeah. See, I'm always not a fan of writing about failures and learning about it, because you can talk them in your interviews. That is where you, because some people, if they write a failure and you would not be in a position to explain them through your personal statement, right? So whoever is reading it can take different opinions. They can have two, like, as two swords of an edge. They can either go for a positive thing or a negative thing. So I would not include it, but I would love to talk about that in my interview and bring that up if at all they bring it up. If at all they don't bring it up, I would not even bring that up as well. So, like, talk about your talk about your strengths and talk about how you evolved as a person. Maybe you might have evolved as a person through that failure. Talk how you evolved rather than talking about failure and how you evolved. So that is what I would do.
True. That's true.
Yeah. Ria, you can take the next question.
Yeah. What is the best time to start brainstorming? Oh no, sorry. There's one more about it. When to start writing PS? Can we start before step one recommends? I mean, if you have any ideas going on in mind, maybe you can create a draft and keep the document always ready. You can always keep adding points to it, and when time comes, you can pick up the important things or whatever you want to include. So it's not like a particular point or time that it is recommended to start your personal statement. Whenever you have an idea, just start writing down. And I think the next question is also similar. What is the best time to start brainstorming ideas for PS? How early do you need to have the first draft to be in safe zone for the season? Yeah. If you're applying for this season, it is definitely recommended to start brainstorming ideas. It's not too early. You definitely have to start it now because it's not an easy thing. Once you draft your personal statement and give it to mentors, they might have different opinions. They might ask for more ideas, and you have to think about it until later as well. So all this can be done only if you start early. Otherwise, you just have to go through whatever you have and submit it at the time of application. So this is definitely a very good time to start drafting your personal statement.
And yeah, I can take Sarika's question. If a personal statement is started with a clinical case and how that inspired me to be a neurologist, does it seem more generic? I would not say generic, but Sarika, if at all you can explain in that personal statement about you, like if at all, let's say you have seen a case, or be it medical school, or be it in the US, or be it somewhere else, then that inspired you in such a way that made you realize that, hey, I'm fit for neurology, or this is what I'm a person, and this is what I feel I can relate to neurology as. You can include that. But if at all it's something like, hey, this is what attracted me to pursue neurology, I would put that into my third or fourth sentence in the first paragraph. The first two sentences of my paragraph, I would explain about me. I would explain about my upbringing, or I would explain about what I am as a person. And or you can say something like, hey, I have started as a med student, and this is how I'm aspiring neurologist now. And I have not thought my life would be something like this, or this is where I would stand as a person, and but here I am. So something interesting, and then you can go into that. So yeah, I hope that answered your question. But yeah, of course you can always link any clinical case, but I would include that in the second paragraph rather than the first paragraph. Okay. Saranya's question, Ria or Sri, anyone can take it.
Is it good or advisable to mention that medicine is not my strong and only interest in life than telling a developed interest during school? Yes, definitely. If that is your story and that is how you want to portray your life, you got into med school, you can definitely put in. Just not criticizing too much about med schools in the start, but you can just mention one or two sentences and then take over about your interest, why you want to do it. I've also seen personal statements of my friends who have completed their engineering and then a particular instance that led them to do med school. So that's a whole different story. Nobody's going to ask you why you did engineering in the first point. That's your story, and that is how you put in the personal statement. So yeah, you can put in anything, just not so much of criticism or no negative or no bad talks in the personal statement. Whatever it is, just go ahead and focus on the good part of it.
Actually, I did something similar. I told that initially I wanted to become a director of a space station here. So I mentioned my interest in space, and then I eventually connected it to science, and then I told them that's how I entered into medical school. So yeah, you can definitely talk about that, and I've got around 3 questions about this in my interview. So yeah, if it's something, if that's your story, then you can definitely mention it. Yeah.
Yeah, and also I would like to add that if at all you have any other interest, like if at all you did a master's in data science, or if at all you did masters in coding, or if at all you did masters in anything that could not be relevant to medicine, talk about it, because that sparks an interest or that sparks a starting point for them to talk about it in your interviews. And they would also love to know you as a person, and they would even extend your interview. So yeah, always bring that curiosity thing in your personal statement, and they would love that a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Swapna's question, Sriya, you can take it.
Yeah. Should gaps after med school be addressed in the progress was probably directly asked, I think. I mean, if it is a very high YOG, you can mention about your clinical and research experience that would show that you're still relevant to the field and are practicing and are not completely out of the field. But you don't have to mention in particular in your personal statement. Definitely, that will come up in your interviews, and you can be prepared to answer in detail when they ask for it, rather than you just mentioning one or two points, not being very complete and raising more doubts about your biology or your time after graduation. So just don't go ahead and show any of your red flags in your personal statement if you are not able to explain it completely. That is my answer, I guess, for this question.
Yeah, I agree. I'm like, don't explain your gaps in your personal statement. I mean, in the interview also, I feel most of the people don't ask your gaps unless it's like a big gap. Like,
Very
if,
high
yeah,
YOG. I don't think they would generally speak it.
yeah, if it all you fall into that 5 years YOG, and if it all, yeah, most of us took a break after our internship or maybe after our graduation for preparation. So I haven't personally got asked anything about my gap because graduated in 2020, but I finished my internship in 2022. So I was not asked about anything in my interview. So if at all you don't mention it, they don't usually ask unless it's like a big gap. Yeah.
Less than 3 years, it should be okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that should not be a problem. And how to craft peers if you want to dual apply like IMS? Like anyone wants to take it or?
Um, you have to write the.
Most number of
Yeah, go ahead.
specialties.
Yeah.
So yeah, here it is. Like whatever specialty it is, like for example, uh, let's say for any specialty you're gonna cater it separately. Like for example, if you're applying for internal medicine, you're gonna write a personal statement. For family medicine, you're gonna write a separate personal statement. Or for any other specialty, you're gonna write it separately, right? So what I did was I dual applied. I didn't dual apply. I applied for 3 specialties. I applied for neuro, IM, and FM. So I wrote every personal statement separate for every specialty I'm applying to. And all the signal programs, I made sure that I was writing a separate one for them. So a separate one to be, you don't need to change your entire theme. For example, Bhuvna, if you're writing for IM, maybe you can include some other things like research in your personal statement or something that led you to pursue internal medicine, like any curious case or anything that really attracted you. But family medicine is nothing different from internal medicine. It's the same as IM, but the only thing is that they would love you to include volunteer experience into your family medicine personal statement, and also they would love to know you as a person more than what you love for the branch. So that is something they would want you to include in the family medicine thing. And also, I see there is not much difference between IM and FM. Of course, many people say, I'm like, in India or be it any other country, it's different, but in US, it's the same. I feel FM is morely outpatient compared to IM. And if you focus on preventive aspects in your personal statement, I think that should be fine. And Ria, I think you can also explain about it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I applied for a very few IM programs and majority were FM. So I had to make two personal statements, both for IM and FM. And to be very frank, I did not change anything. I only changed the last paragraph where I mentioned family medicine. I changed it to internal medicine and then I just uploaded it. Um, I mean, if you are going for very contrasting specialties like maybe neurology and IM, you can make two completely different things because all the first few paragraphs are about why medicine and why the specialty make. For IM and FM, I don't think you have to make two different personal statements. But for FM, like Tanishq also said, I think they will like more if you mention about the preventive medicine aspect and about being more empathetic and voluntary work and how you can connect to the community more than anything. Because I was majorly applying for FM, my personal statement was had all of those, and I did not bother to change it for IMS.
And yeah,
Not good.
yeah, exactly. And I think any specialty nowadays, they are talking a lot about ethics. You will be asked ethics and behavioral aspects in your interview. So if at all you can include those aspects into your personal statement, like what makes you an ethical person or what makes you an all-round person other than a study buff or something like that, that is something that they really value. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dr. Rahul asked, should we update our personal statement? That is the fourth paragraph. Why this program? For every program we apply, like why we are applying to that program. I mean, that will be a very difficult task for you to make 200 personal statements, and you also have to be very careful in uploading because you cannot mess up uploading one personal statement to the other program. So I think that will become too much of a hassle. You don't have to do it. But if you are really particularly interested in any programs, maybe at least the three gold signaling programs that you're doing or the single program you're doing, maybe you can personalize it. But that is not like a requirement that you have to do. If you have time and you have so much of patience, you can go ahead and do it.
Okay, I can take Kia's question. I completed my internship in 2021 and graduated in 2023. And I want to apply for this match. Will it be a red flag? No, not at all. You fall into that 5-year YOG thing, so it would not be a red flag at all. And I think you are good to go there, so that's good. Yeah. Hamza's question, do we need to have a separate personal statement if you plan to apply to prelim and categorical positions? You don't need to change the entire theme of it, Hamza, but you, of course, as Ria was mentioning in the previous thing, always have that last paragraph curated to the program you're applying to. Let's say you're applying for a prelim, always mention what is your categorical interest is. Let's say if you're applying for categorical psychiatry or categorical neurology, say them that your prelim interest is in internal medicine, but this is what you want to do in your categorical branch. So include that interest and what your future goals are. I think that should be good for that. And of course, what I would personally like say it is that always have different personal statements, at least for the programs you're signaling to. Different in the sense, always change that last paragraph and curate it personally. So how can you curate it is whatever program you're trying to signal, go to their aims and mission and their values and try to see what their integral core is and try to link those things with your qualities and try to curate it personally. So that should be fine. Yeah. Yeah. Next question.
A quick question, how would we title the personalized personal statement to assign 100 plus programs? Exactly my point. That would be too much of a hassle, but you can still name the program. You can still save your Word PDF document under the name of the program you want to apply to and then assign it carefully to the same program. But 100 plus personal statements is
Not advisable.
It's advisable.
Yeah, but I think I can say you one thing. So what you can do is you can edit your personal statement as many times as you want. So once you go there and save it properly, like what I did was I wrote IM dash program and I wrote final. So something like that, the family medicine dash program and something like that. So that will even narrow you down for you to figure out which program you want to apply to. So yes. Okay, Sanjana's question. Oh, I think I can take this. Can we apply for both neurology and IM in different programs? Yeah, I heard that in order to get neurology, we should select only neurology. I think you're asking me you can apply for IM in neurology in the same hospital, right? Yeah, you can apply for the same hospital, and of course, you have to be careful again because program directors do talk to one another. And IM and Neuro, maybe they might not be that close, but I think they still do talk. But of course, you can still apply for them. And yeah, you don't need to select only neurology. You can apply for both Neuro and IM in the same hospital. And you can do it separately. But there are a few things. Like, for example, if you are applying for prelim, IN, and then you're applying for a PGY2 categorical, then you can't apply for PGY2 categorical, PGY1 categorical directly to neuro and apply for IN. I think I confused it. Okay. Okay, let's say so neuro is 4 years, IN is 3 years. So neuro 4 years, PGY1 you can directly go for it. But if you only want to do prelim IN and want to go into PGY2 neuro, then you can't apply for a PGY1 neuro in the same hospital. You have to apply for IM and neuro separately. So you can't do that, but as long as you make sure, like you can make sure that neuro and IM are different, you're fine. Yeah. I think yeah. I think that's all the questions. Guys, if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box or you can even unmute your mic and we'll be happy to answer it. I also will share you our WhatsApp page link for the next upcoming webinars, and you can join that so that you'll also get the updates. So. I think that's all the questions, I guess. Maria, any final words? I think you can say something final, and then I think we can close it off. And then Shrija will do, and then I'll do as well.
Yeah, I mean, for this session, particularly about personal statement, I would definitely suggest you to start if you're applying for this season. Try to emphasize about your qualities in every paragraph rather than just stating facts. So, and that will take time. You have to brainstorm ideas and then try to get it all together with a good flow. It's never too early. Start doing it right now, and then you can do multiple drafts to get a proper statement by the time of application.
Shrija, you can take.
Yeah, I think there's another question.
Yeah.
How much time most people take for CK? Can people do in 3 months full time? I mean, if you're Kanishk, I think you would be able to answer this question.
I didn't take 3 months. I took 5 proper solid months.
No,
so, but don't rush for any exam. So that is my advice.
Yeah. If you're very good with step 1 and you're scoring very well in the practice exams, yeah, then go ahead with it. But take your time for step 2. Don't rush it.
How did you strategize? Now, I think our next webinar is on the step 1 and step 2. So I think you can join for that. But so if at all you want to do it in 3 months, I think that's a big no from us. But if at all you can plan it strategically, like first 2 months, go for the U world and any notes that you can complement it with, and then you can figure out where do you stand by giving an NDME, and then you can plan your rest of the schedule with NDMEs. And I would also love you to use DIP and all the other resources. So yeah, and you can attend our session if at all you want to have an in-depth. Yeah, sure. And Shrija, any final words before we close?
Okay, so regarding the personal statement, I think you should keep it as simple as possible. Make it easy for everyone to read. Don't make it complex. Don't make it sound robotic. It should speak, it should be like you are speaking with the reader. That's how the personal statement should be. So keep it simple. As Ria said, start brainstorming some of the ideas. I would randomly think in my day-to-day life, and if something strikes, I just note it down and like use it. I mean, use it later in a personal statement. So yeah, start it as early as you could, and you should be good with it.
Yeah, and I agree with that. What I did was I started roughly, I guess, around like April, end of April or May. And the first line which I wrote was not mine. When I was watching a web series, and suddenly there was this motivating thing in the Good Doctor web series, and I was like, hey, this is something which I can use for my personal statement.
Yeah.
So I quickly opened my notes app, and then I was like noting down that point. So yeah, there could be any emotional message, or there could be one empathy dialogue from any web series or movie that you like. So you can use that, but always make sure whenever you get these ideas, you put them down. So always have a notes or a book, something where you can write it down. And yeah, because you will tend to forget, and of course, everyone as humans we forget stuff. So it's always nice to have a PDF or thing which you already set it up, and then you can include those ideas. And see, you don't have to start by making 5 paragraphs initially and then concising it. my initial draft was with 10 paragraphs, and my first draft was not my submission draft. My submission draft was my 100th draft or something like that. So you will revise it, revise it, revise it. So always work on it, and every day you see it with a new perspective. So that is what I feel. So always have a theme going on, and maybe you can. This is the right time for you to start brainstorming ideas and how you want your personal statement to be viewed as. And I think that should be good. Yeah. And if we don't have any questions, I think we are good to conclude. And of course, this session is recorded, and we would share the recorded version in like a couple of days. And we'll also share the PPT in the WhatsApp group, so you can always access that as well. Yeah. Yeah, I think thank you all for attending. I hope this was an informative webinar for you guys. And yeah, feel free to join us for the next session. I think the next session is on programs and how you should apply for them and what all you should follow to strategically signal for the programs. Okay. Thank you all. Have a good day. Bye.